Hi friends, welcome to my channel. My name's Joanne and this is To Crochet Curious. Well, today we are going to start our tutorial on edging a blanket, putting a border on a blanket. This is going to be a beginner level tutorial, and you can email me if you have questions or put it in the comments below. But basically we're going to put a two-color border around this lapgan that I made. And so let's talk about the lapgan itself is made from two colors of Big Twist. And I used this gray, which is not this gray, but Big Twist has so many colors that this is very close in color. I think I might have given away my I think this was called machine gray or metal gray or something like that. But this is medium gray and it's very close in color, and so I'm going to use it for the border. And then this is wine, and wine matches the color of the blanket. So this is a simple blanket made from I think this is all half double crochet stitches, and then I just did color changes every few lines. The color changes are carried down the side, which means, and I do have a tutorial for this, which I'll put a link for in somewhere in here. I'll put a link for that. The color changes are going to be covered by the border, so that is a useful tool because it doesn't match the other side, which has no color changing yarn going up the sides. So okay, so making a simple border, what we want to do to start is we want all the sides to be the same. Like this is a simple crochet stitch that you can stitch into to add another row to. But on the sides, you don't have that. There's no obvious chains to follow. So we're going to go over how to ready your blanket by making all the sides look like this. And also we're going to learn how to turn a corner, putting a border on. So that's what we're going to cover in this video. All right. Okay, so we're going to start on the side that's easy. That's always good, right? So we're going to start on this side that's easy, and I'm using the same size hook I used in the blanket. That is a 6mm hook. And all you need to know for this purpose of making this border is how to do, and I'm going to show you, how to do a single crochet, how to do a half double crochet, and how to do a double crochet. So very, very simple. All right. Oh, and we're also going to do a color change. So there you go. So because the blanket begins and ends with this color, we're going to make the first row out of the gray. And we are going to crochet all the way around this blanket, turning the corners. And I'll show you each section, how it's done, so that you know how to complete this blanket. Now for a color change, the ideal thing to do is to change the color on the last stitch you made, but that is, I've already tied in my end on that, so that's not going to happen. So we're going to pull through this loop. We're going to yarn over, and that's where we're going to start. All right. Now I've left the corner for the last thing we do, and I'm starting here on the flat. And then I'm just going to single crochet into each stitch. So the same one I started with, and you tug that a little bit, the same one I started with, I insert my hook to do a single crochet. I wrap my yarn and pull that gray through the wine colored yarn. And then I wrap again and pull through both loops on the hook. That's my single crochet. We're going to repeat this. Insert it in the chain. Pull through, wrap, pull through both. Insert it in the chain. Wrap, pull through, wrap, pull through both. Insert it in the chain. Okay, and then we just keep going to the end of the first row. Now this is going to take me a minute or two. Oh, look, I already messed it up. Just stop. If you're doing it wrong, just stop, pull it out, and do it again. Don't be hard on yourself. When you do different stitches all the time, sometimes it's hard. You fall into a pattern and you fall into and then you drop right into a different pattern without even realizing it. So just stop, pull it out, and do it again. One thing about this is I have learned to be a lot more patient with myself doing crochet, because there are times that I will make mistakes and then I don't notice it for several rows because it's not like sticking out like a sore thumb, and I'm not examining, you know, everything I've already done. I'm looking at what I'm doing. So if I did something wrong, I may not see it until I pull back my vision a little bit and see a fuller picture of what it looks like. Typical time for me to find a problem is when I, you know, have turned the project a couple of times to work the row coming back, and now whatever I've done is a couple rows below, you know, and I'll look at it and I'll think, well, that doesn't look right. So if you make mistakes, you are not the only one. So as you can see, I am just single crocheting in every stitch, and with this dark red yarn I may have to put more light on this subject, I don't know, or put some glasses on. Oh, don't wrap first, got to put it through the loops and then wrap it. My yarn is very tight in the ball there. And I try to keep roughly the same tension. But it just takes practice. So as you can see, we are making, basically what we're doing is we're giving all four sides an even playing field, so it's very simple to put the border on. It's just common sense, really. I mean, why not do something that's a little simpler and gives it a finished look? So I have quite a ways to go, so I'm gonna pause this because I have to go all the way across here. And when I get about here, I'm gonna come back and I will show you the first corner. So stay with me, keep on putting those single crochets in, and I will be back with you in a moment. All right, well, here we are almost to the end of the one side, and see, I have this much left to go. And I decided to put a little light on the topic so maybe you can see a little better, but here you can see, or maybe you can't tell, I don't know, but with the grays this close to each other here, I can see if I'm looking with a critical eye that this is slightly darker than this. However, you need to remember that you look at the things that you make up close and personal, and you are very critical because you want things to look nice. But most people, when using this blanket, will not be focusing on the differences in those two colors. Okay, they will be watching TV or snuggling with somebody they love, or, you know, it's not going to be about that. So try to be easy on yourself. All right. Okay, so we got this much left to do. So let me do some more single crochets, and I am going for a rounded border on my corners. And when I did the blanket tutorial, I did show this a little bit, but I've been thinking about it and want to make sure that I show like an actual method. So that's what I'm going to do today. When I did that tutorial, I was just putting some stitches in and not really giving any thought to how many I should do or anything like that, or where I should place them. I was just instinctively doing it the way I do most things. But then when it comes time to explain them to somebody, I'm like, what exactly did I do? That's like the Walk in the Park beanie. I am going to do a tutorial on that because I did some unique stitching there that I've not seen other people do, and I wanted to, you know, I haven't seen everything, of course, but I did want to show that to you guys, and I thought it was a good option. It worked good in the case of that particular beanie. I don't know if the light is helping or hurting. I think you can, I hope you can see okay. Alright, so we're getting there. I'm almost there, guys. I'm almost there. So, alright, now as we approach the edge, let's stop and take a look at what the edge looks like. So the corner, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 more stitches here. And what I'm going to do is, starting with the second to the last stitch, I'm going to put 2 single crochets in there, and then 1 here on the very last one, and then we'll do the first stitch on the next side. We'll have 2 in the same spot, so it'll be 2, 1, 2. So it won't bunch up, but it will give the appearance of a corner turning. Oh wait, let me think about this for a second. You know what? Let's do it this way. We'll look at it. I want to do it a different way, and then you tell me if it looks good, okay? So I'm putting the third one in, and I do want to put 2 stitches there. So I put 2 there. Then I think instead of putting 1 in the last stitch, I'm just going to chain 2 and then turn it. Now, this is how I do this. This is 1 stitch, okay? This is the width of 1 stitch. So in the width of 1 stitch, I am going to, it's 1 lengthwise stitch, I'm going to put 2 stitches, because this is 1 row. I'm going to put 2 stitches in every 1 row. And because that is my plan, then you know exactly what to do all the way down. So watch as we go. Now we did 2 chains. Now in the first stitch on the side, we're going to single crochet. We just poke through wherever you can poke through, because it's not, you know, standardized like the other side. That's why we're doing this. So we pull it through for the single crochet, and then the exact same spot we're going to put one more. It gives it an opportunity to lean into the corner and give you a rounded corner. See it? So we put 2 on this side of the corner, then on the actual last stitch we chain 2, and we turn to the side and we do 2 single crochets in the first stitch. Now we are putting 2 places in here, so we are going to go through the second part of this stitch. So even though we put 2 stitches in the first hole, these 2 placements, boy, I hope I'm explaining this, is going to be 1 row. So then we go on to the next. This is 2 rows, so we are going to put 4 single crochets across this gray part. So we go in and make the first. Right next to it we look for a hole and go in and make the second. Then we look for another hole and make the third. And accuracy, you know, is not really a problem here. But what we're creating is the canvas that the rest of the border is going to go on. Okay? So for every 2 of these, we're going to do 4. And here, this is just 1 row, so we're going to do 2. So 1. Oh no, I did a double crochet. Ha ha ha. Just kidding. 1, 2, 3. Now if I am overdoing this, it's going to start ruffling. So if I'm putting too many stitches, it's going to be either stretching it out or starting to ruffle it, in which case we could adjust it down. Now this is only going to be 2 stitches. You don't have to make yours as complicated as mine appears to be. You have the license to make your blanket however you see fit. But you understand that I'm trying, for every row, I'm trying to get 2 stitches on the side. And that didn't really work out on that one, so we'll just keep going. I might have too many stitches in these. They might just need 2. Look, it's kind of fanning out. I think I'm overcompensating. So let's go back. This is how we learn. All right, I'm overcompensating, so maybe I put too many here too. Let's just wind it back. Now we did 2 spaces here. Let's do 2 spaces here. This may not be enough. I don't know. We'll find out. Two spaces here. Whoops, don't wrap until you put it through. 2 spaces there. Yeah, maybe this is what we need. Let's see. We'll go a little ways and then we'll look at it and see what it's doing. See, that kind of seems like it needed 3. Alright, how we doing here? It looks flatter. It looks normal. The rows are not changing shape to accommodate my stitches. So you see what to look for here. The rows are not changing shape, so we must be doing it okay. Okay, so we're going to go down the side and we're going to put all these stitches in, and I'm going to go off camera and do that, trying to maintain my stitching, my row integrity, not stretching them out by putting too many stitches on the side. That is a danger, okay? And then we'll look at the next corner, and I'll come back for the next corner, and then the following corner, and then we'll do the side with the yarn carryover, so you'll get to see how that looks. All right, so I'll be back with you when I get to the edge, to the end of this side. Okay, let's try it from this angle. I realize I'm just doing it more for me than you, so let's try it from this angle. We're going to, let me turn this off. I ran out of memory, so I'd already done this corner, but I know it didn't capture it, so I unwound it a little bit. Now I'm going to come up on this corner, and we're going to do as we did on the last one, 2 single crochets on the second to the last stitch. And if I can get in there, and then chain 2 around the corner. So 2 singles, in the same spot, then chain 2. Then in the first stitch we're going to do 2 single crochets, same identical stitch. Then we have a little corner with a little space in it for us to make a corner on the next one, and we're going to single crochet across this side of the blanket, and I will be back as soon as I get to the end of this row. We'll turn another corner, and then we'll discuss covering up the color changes along the 4th side of the blanket. So we will see you soon. All right, let's take a look. Oops, sorry. We are going to take a look. I gotta stop bumping the camera. At this last corner, we're going to single crochet into the last, second to the last corner. That's right. We didn't do the first corner. Okay. All right. I should have stopped closer, I guess. It goes faster when I'm holding it in front of me instead of holding it out in front of me for you guys to see. All right. So on the corner, like we have been doing, second to the last stitch is going to be 2 single crochets. Let's see how many we got here. Having problems with my eyes today. We got 3 there. So here's the first one. Then we put 2 in this one. Two in the same. Skipping the last, oops, ran out of yarn. Skipping the last, but chaining 2. Turning the corner and putting 2 single crochets in this first spot. And we have our corner to turn right there. Okay, covering the yarn, it's just a matter of being thoughtful about where you're placing your hook. Sorry, I'll try to stop doing that. We want to, when we've finished pulling the yarn through, we want it to do a decent job of coverage. It's not going to cover everything, but you're going to put a couple rows on here, so don't worry about it. It won't cover everything, but it will give it the look that is on the other side. And that's what we're trying to do, is just make it look uniform all the way around. That was a little fidgety, sorry about that. So let's stop and take a look. You can see it's covering fairly well. And we're just gonna single crochet up this side, and then we'll do the final corner together over here. And when we get there, then we will look at what our next round's gonna look like. Okay, I worked up a couple of swatches to decide what was next on the border, and we're gonna alternate colors because if I put half double crochet over these, they disappear basically, and if I use the wine color, you can still see them. So that's what we're going with. So we just got to get around our final corner here, and then we will start with half double crochets, 2 in the second to the last, and then chain 2. 1, 2. Did I leave myself enough yarn? Let's play chicken. And in the first stitch, 1, because that's all I got. All right. Now we're going to tie that off because I did not leave myself enough tail to do anything with it. So I'm just going to knot it right there, and we'll work that in. And then we do have our corner. It will work. All right. So next we're going to use the wine. And I started from the outside, which I didn't mean to. I meant to center pull it, but I did not. So, oh well. Alright, starting at the same corner, we will okay, we don't want to do that. We're going to start at the top of the stitch, and where's my long working tail? And I did not wrap. Okay, so for a half double crochet, we wrap, and we insert the hook in the stitch, wrap, and pull through, wrap, pull through 2, no, pull through all 3. Yeah, I'll get there. Pull through all 3, wrap, next stitch. Okay, it's a little messy because we started and stopped here. Next stitch, halfway, half double crochet, wrap, in we go. Yeah, we're doing great. In we go into both loops and pull through all 3, wrap it, insert it, come on, pull through, and go through all, yarn over and pull through all 3. I'm doing a terrible job of teaching you a half double crochet. So hopefully you already know how. Do as I say, and do as I do, not as I say. How about that? So this is a half double. So we're going to work this around the entire length of the blanket as we discussed. See how nice that looks with color on color. And we're going to do the corners. I will come back and show you the corner one time, and then we'll finish this round, and then we'll do the final round, and I'll show you the corner on that. I'll be back. Okay, friends, let's see where we are. So we've gone around the first side with the second row of the border. This is a half double crochet in the wine color. You can see how pretty that looks. So we're at our first corner, and there are 1, 2, and then here's the 2 stitches. Okay, so we're going to go into 1 with a half double, and then 2 half doubles in the next, oops, I lost my yarn. All right, now we've got our chain 2. So we're going in there with a half double and 1 more. Oh, you know what? I think we should chain 1 and then do the other half double. Give it a little more chance to lay flat. Wow, that was hard. All right, so we got 1 chain in there. Now we're turning the corner. Here's our first stitch. We're going to do 2 half doubles in there. What's going on? There we go. All right, 1 more. Same spot. Okay, so to recap, in the last stitch, we did 2, second to last stitch, I'm sorry, we did 2 half doubles. On the corner where the 2 stitch spaces are, we did a half double crochet into the chain space. We chained 1, and we did another half double crochet into the chain space. Then we turned the corner, and the first stitch we did 2 half double crochets in the first stitch. Now we continue up the side, and we're going to do each corner in identical fashion. Okay, so I'm going to keep going with my half double crochets all the way around, and then we will start on the final with a double crocheted gray, medium gray round, and we'll show you how to do the final corners. Okay, I'll be back. All right, here we are on the last round of the border. We are doing double crochets with the medium gray. Double crochet, wrap the hook, insert it in the stitch, pull through, wrap the yarn around the hook, and pull through 2, wrap it again, and pull through 2. That is a double crochet. So what this does is each row is getting progressively taller. I did consider putting 2 rows of double crochet gray around the outside, but I think this will be sufficient. It's not that big of a blanket, so I don't think we need more statement than what we're getting out of this. And I do think it looks quite good. The corners are going to look pretty good. And I think we can call it on this. So I'm going to go ahead and crochet down to the corner. I'll show you the final corner insert, and then we'll move on to the finished product. Stay tuned. Okay, let's go through the last process, which is the corners on the final round. So let's see, we are doing double crochets, and except for the very corner, we're just going to do one double crochet per stitch. So double crochet, one per stitch, because we've already added extra stitches for 2 rounds and we don't need any more. All right, now we are on the corner, which has 2 doubles in it. They're a little tight. My tension got a little tight. Do 1, chain 1, and then go into the next. On the corner, the second stitch. There we go. So the corner's complete, and then we just go. I'm having a hard time seeing the stitches. There we go. Go to the next stitch. Now I'm just going to continue around and do this all the way around to the final corner, which I will show the final corner again. But basically, this is where we're at. Doing 1 stitch in every stitch, 1 double crochet in every half double crochet, except for 1 chain 1 at the corner. We just are using each of our stitches, and then we have an extra chain 1 at the corner, and then these stitches. Simple, simple. And this is what you're going to look like when it's all done. So I think this is going to turn out really nice, and that we'll do a little photo op at the end. Okay, we'll talk to you in a little bit. All right, we are to the 4th corner. You can see we've completed the other 3 corners, and we're going to finish this one off. But I think this looks quite nice with the border. So we're going to go through the last corner here, and we're just going to follow the stitches. Double crochets all the way around the corner. So I hope you've enjoyed this and that it helps you to imagine how you can border your own projects. It doesn't really take much to make a border. It just takes some consistent, work, and it doesn't have to be fancy to be to stand out, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So we're putting 1 space in the corner, 1 chain space, and turn the corner. Here we go. Now we're going to work into the initial stitch that I started in so that we can tie it off. And it looks continuous. so did we hit all the stitches? I believe we did. So now we're going back and slip stitch into the first stitch that I did, that I started with and I missed. Try that again. Slip stitch that, and then I'm going to tie it off and cut it. All right. Or I'm going to cut it off and then tie it. One of those things is going to happen. And then I will work my ends in. And I do have several to work in here, and that's fine. I will take care of that. This thing is woven in. It keeps popping out. Sorry about that. All right, so here we are with the four corners. This is all the same side. And then here's the opposite side. Of course, I have all my strings here, but that's what the opposite side looks like. So that is the shot. We've got our border. Thanks for joining me, and let me know what you think in the comments. Talk to you later. Bye.